Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, we begin our journey through Montana as we discuss the series Yellowstone. As we did with Snowfall, we're going to do weekly reviews of each season as we build up to the final 5 episodes of the remaining episodes of season 5. But today, we're only going to talk about season 1. So if you saw the whole series, bear with us. We're going to try to focus on season 1, how we felt and where the characters are at there. And then we will go on to season 2 next week. But first, why did we watch this show in the first place? We're going to talk about that real quick. So let's move on to Chris. Chris, why did you watch Yellowstone? And when did you start watching it? When did you start watching it?
Oh, man. I didn't start watching until like probably season 3. Actually, when did 1923 start? Whenever 1923 started, which I think was around season 3. And only because I just saw like just still images of 1923. I was like, oh, that'll look interesting. And I brought it up at work and we're like, well, you got to watch Yellowstone first. I'm like, oh, I was like, you mean like the park Yellowstone? Like, and then they're like, yeah. Well, that's the prequel. It's the prequel to Yellowstone. And then I'm like, damn, they did a spinoff of that. And then I heard they were doing another spinoff of it that was coming up soon called like 1883 about the beginning of the Duttons and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this show must be something. And then I looked into it and I saw who made it. And I saw Taylor Sheridan was involved in it. I was like, oh, the dude from Sons of Anarchy, the cop or whatnot. And when I saw that he was involved, I was like, all right, I'll check it out. So I checked it out. Love Kevin Costner. And when I watched it, maybe the first episode didn't really grab me in necessarily all the way. I mean, towards the end of the first episode, it did. But I was really shocked. I mean, a show takes place in Montana with a bunch of cowboys. Even though I love my occasional westerns and whatnot, I had no idea that I was going to appreciate the show. It was like a western version of Succession in a way. And at first, I didn't give a damn about the characters or the kids or like the Dutton thing. And then the more I watched it, the more like the characters that they brought up, I was like, oh, that's Taylor Sheridan. He brings in the character. And then Taylor Sheridan, he guest stars in the show, you know what I mean, as Travis, the one who keeps bringing horses in and out of the Dutton Ranch, whatnot. So I just thought, as far as storytelling, it's a simplistic plot with just taking care of a ranch. That's all it is. And because it's so simplistic, we get to focus on the characters themselves, which I appreciate, which is something you don't really get a whole lot in the shows. And we get that with a bunch of flashbacks that you get in all the seasons. So yeah, that's why I started watching. Like you said, Kevin Costner is amazing. The girl who plays Beth, I think she should get if she doesn't already have an Emmy already, she should have one. All of them, James, the guy who plays Jamie, every single one of them, and just them incorporating actual real life Native Americans in this show and actually showing the different variations that they have in it. I felt like I'm even learning some stuff. Like, I did not know they had their own tribal police. I didn't know that was a thing. I had to look that up. I was like, tribal police. And then I looked and I was like, oh, that's like legit. That's something that's real. And I was just like, damn, I'm like, here I am being all ignorant about Montana. Like, and then watching the show, I'm like, damn, I think I might want to visit Montana sometime. I don't know what I would do. I don't know how to ride a horse worth shit. But you know what I mean? But it was just very, very interesting and it's interesting of a show that I'm not typically would ever watch. Watch this and just be like, this is awesome. Can't wait for the next episode. Can't wait. Oh, now I gotta wait for season 4. And then season 4 comes out. I'm watching that. So yeah, that's why I started watching it. People just telling me to watch it, saying I promise you it's great. And they were not wrong. So I tried. So you guys probably see me in other videos sneaking in like Lewis, like Yellowstone, Better Call Saul, Yellowstone. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's right.
Thank you. Kim, why did you watch Yellowstone?
Well, like Chris said, he kept sneaking in Yellowstone during videos. So I was like, So it kind of piqued my curiosity. Then my friend was like, Kevin Costner looks great. He looks fine. And, all of this. And she was like, the show was really good. His acting was really good. So I was like, okay. So I started thinking about it more. And then you said we were going to do it. And I was like, okay, we're going to do videos. I was like, okay. So then I started watching it, and I couldn't stop watching it. Like every episode is good. Like I haven't even seen a slowdown episode. You know how they always have in every series, there's like an episode that's kind of like a throwaway. They just kind of, it's you don't really learn anything about the characters, just kind of filler. I haven't seen that episode yet. It's something's always going on. If it's not with the actual family, it's with the cowboys. That worked it, right?
The bunkhouse.
So it's always or it's with the tribal community, right? It's with the reservation. Something's going on there. So it's always something going on, which keeps you engaged and entertained. The cinematography I love it. I love everything about everything I see. It is phenomenal. The way that they are doing these shots is, I don't know who's doing it, but he deserves an award, period. Or she, whoever, or a group of people, because the shot, and then the songs, as you're watching, the songs always relate to the scene, and they're really good songs. Like, I'm not a person who really likes country music. I like certain things, like Garth Brooks or something like that, but not everything. This show, you can start to like, country music, because it's well done.
It's immersive, and it kind of puts you into the mind,
into the mood of what's into what's going on, into the scene. So and the acting is spot on. Like, the acting is spot on. Everybody is great in this, even just the cowboys, even people that I've never seen. Like, I don't know that character Jimmy. I think maybe he might have been in The Walking Dead. Maybe, I think, but I haven't seen that actor. But I'm still enjoying the fact that his acting, as Jimmy, he's doing a really good job as playing someone who was a criminal, but he's trying to turn himself around. Like, he didn't want to do this, but now you see he's embraced it. And he understands, like, this is saving my life, right? So I like the way that he's portraying that, right? Very slow, very thought invoking, right? So I like it. So I'm on board. I can't wait to watch the rest of season 2.
Season 2, the rest of season 2. Which season 1 is only 9 episodes, so we had an issue with how many episodes.
Yes.
But season 1's only
9.
Why
would you make it 10? They shouldn't have put the number 10 on there. Say season 2, right? Episode 1.
They took the UK model. UK is always doing like seven episodes. And 8,
I was like, or less. So I hear you. So we're gonna keep it to the first 9. And we'll do that. Jamani, please. Why did you watch this show?
I've been hearing about it for a good while. And had really thought the train had cleared past me. They were talking about the show was ending. People were boo-hooing and sad about it, and threatening some stuff. And I tried to watch the original, because that's what I'm going to call it, because this is like the 3rd iteration or something. The 1883 with Sam, the mustache guy, right?
Mustache guy.
Yeah.
And
Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
No, his name is Sam Waterstein.
I know you're talking about. Yeah, he was also in
Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Damn, it's Roadhouse. Keep on going.
So I had tuned into that one time, and it was supposed to be the first episode, but it ended up being like, I don't know, like the 9th episode or something. And his wife had got killed by some Native Americans, and I was like, this is the first episode. And he takes his wife inside, and she's been
let's not do all this.
Be careful.
Let's not do all this.
Oh, okay.
Some of us still have not even watched that.
I haven't watched that yet, Jamani.
Let's focus on
David, you were afraid about me, David.
I know, man. This dude, I didn't think he was gonna go through all this.
So far, we got 2 people that you had to complain about, but not me though.
I'm sure.
I want that for the record.
I'm sure.
I want it for the record that I didn't say it on air. Okay.
Also
true.
But Jamani, about Kevin Costner.
Jamani goes and is like, yo, she gets killed. Like
I was
somebody
like, I was like, oh shit. Please continue.
So
Damn, Jamal.
okay, so anyway, I gave this show a chance because you guys were advocating it like you guys have a Y branded on your chest. Like you guys are really going hard for it. So
I like it. I like
I
that.
said
That was a good one.
I'll give it a chance, and I'm still giving it a chance because I'm thoroughly confused at a lot of things that are going on. I'm like I'm sticking. It has kept my attention to stick around, but I am thoroughly confused at a lot of stuff, and we will get to those things. But yeah, it has kept me around to want to see if those things unravel and things like that. But yeah.
Okay, so it gave you questions, and that's good. Well, it keeps you interested. We will see where these questions go. Lead.
Yeah, this is a cowboy mystery box show.
Okay, all right. Stacy, how about you, please? Why did you watch the show?
Y'all told me to.
Fair.
But no, actually started probably over the holidays. People were talking about it and they were saying how great it was. And I tried watching maybe the first 2 episodes and I was like, no, this isn't what I signed up for, right? So I'm like, but then Cole Hauser's in it, and Cole Hauser kind of has this, he does this thing for me. I don't know what it is. So I was like conflicted. And I was like, okay, because he's always like the bad guy with the, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The one that makes you
I hear you, Stacy. I definitely
exactly. So I was like, and he's the cowboy, and cowboys kind of have this. Anyway,
yes,
I was conflicted, right?
All right.
And then I tried, and I was like, no. And then Dave was like, we gotta watch this. I was like, shit. So I was like, okay, let me try it again. And I told David, maybe about 3 or 4 episodes in, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching. Like, there's so much happening, but not really. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, why is Casey
doing this wild shit?
Why is everything happening to him? And even after finishing the first season, I don't ever want to step foot in Montana. Because between the bears and people falling off cliffs and getting thrown off cliffs,
oh yeah,
I'm good. Like I'm just good, right? Not a state I want to visit.
We will get to
don't
all
you live
that.
in Georgia though?
I've never seen a bear anywhere in my vicinity, and I've been in country Georgia. I've been in city Georgia. I ain't never had to fight with no bears.
No. Oh, no. You said being thrown from cliffs. I just mean like, yo.
Who get thrown off cliffs in Georgia?
We are getting off track. Is that it for why you watch this show?
Yes.
Thank you, Stacey.
So far.
Okay, to Stacey's point, can I just
bears?
No. That kid should have been taken away to somebody else in some other state, because that kid, he got. I'll never watch episode 3 again because I have a horrible fear of snakes. Right, was left with a snake in a tube, fell into a river. Everything happened to this kid in this one season.
Jamani, keep watching. You have the journey.
Wow.
The journey of Tate is not over. That little boy is just getting started.
Oh yeah. Oh, you think? Oh, dude.
Oh no, bro.
Dude, this is just the intro, bro.
I'm doing when we get done. I'm doing a whole video on Tate, like by himself. Like I'm doing.
Yes.
Like a deep
Are
dive.
we skipping ahead, gentlemen? Are we skipping ahead?
No. I'm just saying they need to do a spinoff of him.
Of him. Like anyway,
the spinoff needs to be of Tate. Just the kid.
The journeys of this boy. Anyway, to answer my own question, why did I watch this show? I was going to Cabo and I needed something to watch, and I was like, and I heard.
Look at you stunned. Look at you stunned. Like, you got to throw in that you went to Cabo. I see. Okay.
I had to go out of town, and I was like, I needed something I could watch on my phone.
You had to go, like as if like this was for work. Like
my brother's
had to go to Cabo. I had to go to
Cabo. It was commitment. So I was like, damn it. As a destination wedding, I got to watch something. I was like, Yellowstone. Let's see what this shit's about. And I said, yeah, this is this. I kept on watching. I too at times were like, what is happening? But I was like, you know what? I got 5 more hours. Let's just keep on hitting next.
Wait a minute, you're in Cabo. You're supposed to be on the beach.
I was like, it's too hot. I was like, let me sit.
That just shows he's from Texas. that reminded him of America.
I was like,
That's right. I forgot
yes,
about that.
I'm
That's right.
from
He's
I am from
Texas, yeah.
Southwest Mexico, Texas. Yes. But anyway, that means I was enthralled just though. Like I said, Kevin Costner was leading the cast. I mean, he really is good. But as I watched the series, I would just say Beth and Rip are why I stayed. I would say Beth and Rip and Jimmy are why I stayed for this show. Because like for me, they made the show in many ways. Especially past season 1. And just so season 1 just kind of like the foundation for them. And I think that changes as we'll talk about as we go through each season. But they kept me going. Kevin Costner was great, entertaining, and he's a great actor. But I would say character development wise, I think Beth, Rip, and Jimmy.
Jimmy, yeah. Jimmy's arc is awesome.
Yeah, it is. I love it. I love it.
Oh yeah, and there's more with Jimmy too, y'all.
Yeah. So yeah, and you got a lot to step in for. Like Kevin is the constant star, like the North Star that kind of keeps the show moving, but he's him, and that's his role. And so anyway, we're gonna do.
He's the Cicely Tyson of this show. He's the, how Cicely Tyson's always in that rocking chair. They was like, let me tell you about the story of my mama.
He turns, he turns
Miss
more
Jane
into
Pittman.
that.
There you go, James.
He turns more into that, and later on in the series, like around season 4 or 5, he turns into that dude. I
don't want to know that. Thank you.
Anyway, I'm just
David,
from what I'm
now
seeing,
3 people. Now 3 people.
Okay, my fault. All right, so season 1.
What I'm saying is, I think he's more of like the Godfather. Like
that will,
is he more of like I guess like the guy who played the Godfather is on the
like Al Pacino.
Oh, of course,
no, the
Brando.
The regular Godfather.
Oh, my bad.
Marlon
Brando.
I've
been seeing
he's
that
more like Marlon Brando if he didn't get killed. What 2/3 through the movie? Yeah. At least that's what I'm seeing for the first season. It's like he's, like meandering, and he has his position, but he's trying to put the kids into position as he makes his way out, and that's kind of like what you're seeing.
I would agree with that. He is like a godfather, like he runs the town, right? Like what a godfather would do, and people are actually afraid of him. Like people have fear of him, and he runs the town. This man he has a helicopter that he uses as a cab. Like he doesn't, there's supposed to be certain areas that you are not allowed to just have a helicopter land. This dude is landing right in front of courthouses and, police precincts and stuff. I'm like, there's no helipad there. It's just concrete where people walk. Like, and drive cars. Like
cars are for bitches. He's like, I got helicopters. I got a helicopter. I got a truck. That's how I get around.
Yes, this guy is really he in this season for me. He showed I'm the shit. I run this town, and my ancestors have been running this town, and nobody's gonna take us down. Like the Duttons are the end all be all of this town. If you don't listen to us, we will destroy you. And Beth is his henchman. She's a woman, but she knows how to take people down, right? The only one to me that doesn't like to do it, Beth loves to do it. Jamie doesn't like to do it. Jamie kind of does it, right? But I don't think he takes joy out of it. Beth is like, fuck all these people. Like my father said he wants this done and it's going to get done. Period. End of story. And then Casey, as much as he acts like his father is such a horrible person and and he's upset, Casey has killed, in my opinion, more people out of everybody in the entire show. And he's more like his dad than he absolutely thinks. He is ruthless. He does some stuff that I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, dude. Did you really have to do that? So
as we go through Casey has a higher body count than anyone. And they do try to put him in sympathetic, if not justifiable situations, but he just murders at will. But again, we haven't even got started with that. So hold that thought as we move forward. As we talk about, we're gonna try to do it by characters in the sense. So we talk about John Dutton and his process. The reason why Batman and Monet Tejada are behind me is because I feel like these two characters kind of sum up John Dutton. I feel like Kevin Costner can't really do a Southern voice, so he sounds like Christian Bale's Batman, which gets more and more growly as the series goes on. He's like, "Hello, my name is John Dutton."
What?
And
Wait, he lives in Montana though. He's fine.
I still feel like he sounds like Batman. And then plus the helicopter, he just jumps in and gets into adventures.
Okay, wait, that's what I wanted to bring up. The whole helicopter thing. He uses this to change the freaking weather in the first episode. He weaponizes it to causes a dust storm during a standoff.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
I was like, this dude. And then Monet Tejada, like he has the parenting skills of Monet Tejada because he treats his children as they are merely there to keep the ranch going from point A to point
They are his soldiers.
Why you gotta use her though? I mean, for one,
because she's no different, and they
but you could choose someone who can act better. I mean, you know, you could use why don't you choose the father from Succession, for example, or you know what I mean?
I like it, Chris. Actually, I was like, the more you say that, the more I said Dallas. I said this show was Dallas and Legends of the Fall. I felt because that was set as Montana. I forgot that was set in Montana. A rancher, 2 sons. Casey is more like Brad Pitt's character. Jamie is the other brother who tries to do his best to keep the family together, but the father favors the wild child, and
Anthony Hopkins, right? Wasn't Anthony Hopkins the dad?
Anthony Hopkins is Kevin Costner in this situation, and and he favors the blonde haired wild child, and he's also has an Indian relationship going on, and I was like, this is not new. But when you said Succession, that makes a lot more sense because a lot of this is really about it's lawyer stuff, it's stocks, it's bonds, it's like raising property taxes and shit, like a lot, and who's gonna
undermining like the government to do certain things to my own bidding type stuff, you know what I mean?
And I'm like, so I was like, I like Succession would be a much more modern example than Dallas, but
and then you got all kids.
It's also politics too. It's a lot of politics, which is how most towns are run. It's politics, right?
Yeah. So
if you grease the right palm, you get what you want, right? If you're a businessman.
Yeah.
With a little bit of corruption mixed in.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Well, it helps when you're fucking the governor, which I'm like, so that's my other problem with John is that he should run Bozeman, the city, because he founded it, right? Like his family founded the town. They've been there for over 100 years. So it makes sense that he and his name have influence in the town. And it would be understandable if he was fucking the mayor. And therefore the mayor says you can do whatever you want in this town. But he runs the state. Like he runs Montana. And I'm like, this is a bit much. And in this particular season, he's dealing with gentrification and reparations. He's fighting both of them in different ways. Like I would say Dan Jenkins represents gentrification because he's coming in trying to push out John so he can make some subdivisions and raise the property taxes, like raise property tax so you cannot afford to live here. I'm like, that's white on white gentrification, which I thought.
Here we come Rainwater. Then Rainwater comes in. He's like,
and he wants reparations. And he's like, this land belongs to me, you motherfucker. Like all this was mine. And I'm like, and he's fighting both of these different ideas. And he's like, no, I've been here for 139 years and I'm going to take this helicopter and I'm going to fuck some people up and you ain't taking my cattle. And I was like, damn, John, he's laying it down. I was like, it was a lot of that going on. And then Jamie and Beth, Beth is crazy. But how
they're all crazy.
They really are. They really are.
With the exception of maybe Lee, which we ain't get a whole lot of Lee, but you know what I mean?
I think Lee was just as crazy as them, but his preference was to just be a cowboy. Like he was like his brothers and his brother and sister, his brothers and sister can deal with all of that other stuff, but he just wants to be a cowboy. That's what I felt like when I watched Lee.
For the few times he was on screen. One of the most underused and almost unnecessary characters in this season. There's no more backstories to this dude, and I'm like, what did you accomplish? He's barely mentioned in flashbacks.
You know, sometimes when they do stuff like this in shows, sometimes it's like a behind the scenes thing of like issues and whatnot, like the homeboy from Desperate Housewives or whatnot. You think like maybe there's like a thing like he got fired because of
no.
I don't know.
This is the first episode. This is like when they killed the guy in the shield in the first episode. This was
that's right. They did Ned Stark him. Okay, you're right.
And then it just goes nowhere. Like I'm like, and like we get of the different characters, the mother has more flashbacks and more meaning in season 1, especially season 1, and than Lee does. And she's dead already. I mean, she's not even alive in this series, but she has more relevance to the to what's going on, especially with Beth in this season than Lee does.
I think that Lee was it was to show more of how John deals with grief, right? I think that that's what Lee's death was about. It was more about John than it was about Lee.
It was beautiful for him to take his son and be like, let's just lay here for a while. Like
yes, that was for us to see that this man genuinely loves his children, right? And that for me, I cried on that scene. Yeah. I was like, that is absolutely what a dad should do. You hold your baby until you can't hold him anymore, because you know that the next day you have to put your baby in the ground, right? And I think that was to show us another side of John, and it worked. It did work, because of course, everybody knows he loves his kids, but like you said, like Monet Tejada, she loves her kids too, but she treats them like they're expendable. You know, like you're a soldier. You get a bullet, you know, that kind of thing. And John somehow is that way too. Literally, his kids are his army against
they are
the other, right? And I'm like, that you have to have some guilt about that, but he genuinely doesn't. And neither does Monet.
Because that's part of the family thing. That's part of the whole family business. It's like you have to fight for this land. Like he repeats it every season. It's like this land needs to be fought, be fought to protect. You know what I mean? And it's like stuff that's been instilled from him, from his granddaddy and his daddy, everyone. You know what I mean? So, I mean, So I mean, he that's his way of like being a father. You know what I mean? Like, I think the rest of us would just be like, yo, can you play like catch with them or whatever? Throw the baseball around? He's like, he'd be like, saddle up.
So that's what Tate is for. And that's what he told Monica. He said, you get to do with your grandchildren what you wish you would have did with your own children. And which is very true, which is very true in families. And you see him wanting to be with Tate and go fishing with Tate and be like, hey, Tate, let's go ride some horses and shit. Because like,
and then leaves his eyes off of him, you know.
And then, you know, it's like, then he falls in the water. So, you know,
I disagree. I'm like, how could you feel anything for a character that was on screen? The son wasn't even the main focus of the pilot episode for you to feel the impact of his death from that one episode. So it was like, I don't know, you know, we didn't even get a funeral. I mean,
for who? Hold up, for who?
We did have a funeral.
Yeah, we did. They were in black, all black.
It was a funeral for Lee.
There was a funeral for Lee. Who didn't get a funeral or a name is the fucking man that Casey killed, like his brother-in-law.
Yeah, the really shit. So
he didn't get a funeral
or a name.
And that was never brought back, or like it just swept under the rug. Like they totally cleaned that up, and it never came back at all. It just clean.
Well, that did start some replication. I mean, they had to do some shit to get over that. But anyway, Stacey, you said you didn't know any of these people's characters. What one thing did you stick in your mind that you were like, this character is cool, like for you?
For which one?
For season 1, any of these characters, anything that made you say, I know this person and I like this person.
Of course, Rip. You know, I could just watch him all day, every day.
Oh my goodness.
Even though he was kind of giving me like the highest vibes when he pulled outside of the prison to pick the guy up and like, you need a job. I was like,
that's Daikon.
Don't do it. It's a trap. Like, he was coming off a little like pedophilic, almost like, hi kid, I got some candy. Like, come work for me. I was just this is just weird.
Yeah.
I've never thought of
so let's it's so I do love Rip, and that grows, like his role in the whole thing like grows. We got his backstory. We got a version of his backstory, I will say, because we'll talk about the second version later on. But you know, he killed his dad, you know, who killed his family. You know, he's an orphan, and he's like, now you get to go hang on the ranch, and you see why he's 100% committed to John and the Yellowstone. Like this is all he knows, and he will live and die at this ranch.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think that tracked, because at least from John Dutton's perspective, because I'm like, they have the guy who does the Home Depot commercials playing him, right, in the 90s, right? And
yeah. All right.
And like, I
Okay.
know him from he played on The Firm, like when they did the TV series on NBC, he was like the Tom Cruise character. But I'm
Yeah.
like, he seems so soft, or he doesn't seem he doesn't seem
What are we
like
talking about?
he doesn't seem
The actor.
John
This
Dutton
was
that we get
Oh,
now,
Rip, the guy who
right?
plays Rip.
No, I'm talking about
No, he switched to John. He said this. He don't track. He said so in the 90s when we see young Rip, he's talking to the other actor who's playing young John with the mustache. That's
Oh, that guy. Okay.
So even like in all of the scenes that we see him from the 90s, I'm like, it seems like he just got old and got crotchety. Like he's just a grumpy old man. He doesn't seem like
Yeah, that does happen.
He doesn't. I know that it happens, but I'm saying it doesn't seem like he had the cowboy way of life when he was younger. He seems like he was like there wasn't any sort of problem. Like he.
Are you talking about Rip or are you talking about John? Just real quick.
John.
I can't keep track.
John.
That's
Oh,
not
okay. Because I was confused.
I was
Yeah.
confused.
It was like when Beth was in the tub and the mother was trying to tell John, yeah, I got this, and he was like at the door still trying to, is everything all right? You know, like if he was like the real cowboy, he'd be like, yeah, you know, that's women's stuff, or you know, the women, the mother has whatever with the daughter. All right, I'm gonna mind my business or whatever. He seemed more
concerned
emotional and trying to see what's going on. He was talking to Rip, trying to have, you know, heart to hearts and stuff. He seemed more he didn't seem really gruff or
Because he was young. He was young,
Well,
and
not
he
only
had
that,
a
he's also
wife
an owner.
To
that he
be
loved.
empathetic and caring and all
Yeah,
of that.
I
I'm
mean,
about to say, Jamani, he's the owner of a huge ranch. He can't just be like he can't be Rip, okay? He can't just be Rip all the time. Where Rip
that's
is
why
like
he has Rip, because he can't be Rip. So
He can't
Rip
be
is
that.
who John can't be.
Yes, but I'm saying I
right?
thought he was Rip when he was younger.
No, I didn't think that. I thought that
he's part of a dynasty. He's not. He
Yeah.
can't be that. He can't ever be that.
Well,
You always have to have someone to do the dirty work for you.
I mean, yeah.
And that's Rip, right?
Also, it implied to your harshness. He implied that he branded that young teenager. Like he's like, to stay on my ranch, there's gonna be some pain involved. So he took that teenager and put a hot brand on him and treated him like cattle and said, now you belong.
He did. That's it. He did.
And then again, we'll put a pin in that until about season 5. But
yeah, but I'm saying like we don't see that on camera. We're seeing the good-natured, all of that side, and I'm like, that's why I'm saying it doesn't track. And we saw the duality.
It's a contrast, though.
It's a contrast.
That's what they have to
He
show.
saw something he wanted from the kid. He gave him a sandwich and lured him in with the sandwich. Like, stop eating the sandwich until you answer my question. And you know that boy wanted that damn sandwich. So he, you know, he's manipulative in his caring.
And even
get what he wants, he manipulates people. And his younger self is definitely not gonna. Okay, Jamani, your younger self is not who you are today. Like you change. Experiences in life change who you are. And John has done a lot of stuff that we probably haven't seen yet, but he's done a lot of shit to keep his property, right? And so that changes the person. And also he lost his wife at a very young age. And he had to raise these children by himself, right? Is what we're getting from the fact that this woman, when she passed, the kids were still little, right? So he had to raise these children. So that's, no matter how much money you have, you still got to be the dad to them, right? And that's hard. And he is a cowboy. So how many cowboys do you know that are like all in? Yeah, I'm changing diapers. I'm doing it. No, right? And even though he has money, he probably had nannies and all that stuff. But I'm just saying they have to show contrast of who he was as a younger man and a married, happy man and a couple and a family and beautiful Christmas to the man he is now. They have to show that, to make the character, to stretch the character's reality, right? We have to see what he experienced. And Yeah, go
But
ahead. I'm
also
sorry.
with the Beth example, he was just asking, why is she not out here opening Christmas gifts?
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
it.
he's doing. Once wife somewhat indirectly said this is woman stuff, he did say that's you. And he backed on out of there. He wasn't trying to get
Yeah.
no pads or nothing. He was like, you work this woman shit, and I'll be downstairs with the boys. So he did what a man, if you will, would do, leaving that to the mom to explain, you're a woman now, and da 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 da. And
Right.
even present day, again, he's out there ordering the murder of random people, but he's also like, hey, I'm gonna play with my grandson. And I'm gonna read a book to him while my daughter, on the hand, is screaming her ass off in her room, and he does absolutely nothing to go over there and go, hey baby, you okay? And don't even ask the son, is Beth okay? They're just like, so what are we doing for dinner? Steaks? You want some steaks? Yeah, okay. She'll work that shit out, or she won't. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was Monet right there to me. That your child is, and he's like, I need evil, and she can be evil. So
Yeah. Yep.
therapy will come later.
Everybody has their trait that he actually loves. Like, he's like, she's an evil bitch. I need her to do this, right? Everybody has a job, right?
Jamie knows the law, so I can get Jamie to know like all the legal ramifications
That's
of this.
it. That's
Casey's a soldier. Casey is a soldier.
Casey's a soldier, right?
Yep.
But he favors, but so, and again, I hate to keep on saying this. As you watch the series, all this stuff will come to fruition. Like, you'll see how he built his army. You'll see it. Like you do this, you're gonna do this because we need that. Like, it's all planned out from a long time ago. Like, it's not an accident. Like, he turned his he turned his kids and who they were. I mean, in many ways to help the farm. Help the ranch, excuse me. But Rip, to Stacey's point, Rip is like the son, like he almost like he wants, but he got, but it's like he's like the henchman, but he's like whatever John needs, that what Rip will be, as necessary. And I thought his conversation about Fred, the wrangler who went to the train station.
Whew, that was crazy.
Like, it was interesting. Again, you're not supposed to know what that means when he's talking to John, and he's like, Fred has seen some shit. So he can go to the bus station or he can go to the train station. It's up to you, boss. And I guess for legal purposes, John was like, you do whatever's best for the ranch.
Yep.
And I'm just going to walk away now. So,
don't see nothing. Don't say nothing.
That joint was nuts.
Right,
I was like, wait a minute. What are they saying? Wait,
I don't know.
What?
You wearing
I think
a wire?
that's why I fell in love with the show. That's why I felt like, okay, I'm fucking with this show.
Because he was
like,
but it was I love how again John was like, I'm not admitting to nothing, so I'm just gonna walk away from this and you work this out. And then
but we know damn well he's like not putting he's like that was Marlon Brando right there. It was just more like, you gotta do what you gotta do.
So do that.
Like,
and then he handed off to old ass Lloyd. Like, Lloyd has been there even longer than Rip. But I'm like, I was like, you should have went with him, because Fred was a big dude. Like, it just seems kind of weird that Fred was like, hi, what's going on? Why am I going to the train station in the middle of the night? It makes sense. Okay. Like, where's my
But I thought too, David, I thought that too. I was like, he could push Lloyd over this daggone cliff. So that was I think that was just to give him something to do. Like, you know what I mean? It was, because why else would you send an old rickety cowboy to kill this kind of strong guy?
Yes, very much so.
He ain't that old. He's only like 58 or so. 57.
Stop it. We will get to that too. We'll get to ages and how they don't make no kind of damn sense.
Is he?
Yes. That mm-hmm.
I didn't catch that. Well, he looks much older than I
I gotta look up to see how old is the actor himself. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So you, like, for example, Beth claims to be 34, and I'm like, you haven't been 34 in at least.
Jamie 36, 39 or something. I was like, no.
Yeah, Jamie's like 5 years older than her? 5-6 years. Yeah, because I remember. He was born in 1979. I do remember that part. Born 1979. So.
And this was how long ago?
Yeah.
Stop it. So
what do you mean stop? No. He was born, he said he's like 5 years older than me.
I'm just saying, all right, we don't want to get too much into who does what. All right, so
because of age, I highly doubt age is
They
going to
did talk
spoil
about
people.
age in the first season. I do remember
What
that.
the whole world?
she said she was 34. I remember she was like, I'm at 34. I'm too old to be a
Yeah,
man.
and so
because it was
Jamie's
34.
39 because they
Yeah.
said it in like the last episode, and I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Let's
No, I
not-
mean, no,
let's
it
not
makes
do
sense
that.
because
Let's not do
by season 5, she says like she's like 30, 38, 39 or something. So yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah. So
I was like, and then how does time work? But anyway, back to John and murdering people. So with Fred, it was again very vague. He said train station. My point is, in this situation, he said bus station or train station. Fast forward to season finale when they're talking about Dan, and he's talking to Rip again, and Rip is like, "What do you want to do, boss?" And he's like, "My enemies just need to go away." And like Beth is standing outside, right? And Beth is overhearing this, right? In theory, this should have been the moment where he goes, one of them should have said, Dan needs to go to the train station. So we're clear about what I'm saying, right? And then Beth says, what does that mean? And she learns about the train station, right? Like, I think that would have been a good moment to say, oh, like kind of reveal that because I thought it was kind of vague, because obviously I think Rip was like, okay, and then they kidnapped Dan in the middle of the fucking day. Like, where are we living that you can just have 4 dudes walk around you, stick you in a truck,
Montana, apparently.
and
Yeah,
Which is why I'm not
actually,
going.
right, Stacey, Montana.
you know what they should have did? They should have had at least some people say, "Oh, that's the Dutton Ranch." Never mind. We'll just walk away because John will come in on the helicopter and be like, "I'm taking all of you out." I was like, "Oh,
Yep.
damn, not the helicopter."
No, he's just gonna land on top of the people. Shut up. Stop talking.
He should have just landed and they put him in the helicopter and then they just fly off. I would have been like, that makes complete sense right now somehow.
Yep.
I was
And
like,
then
how
people
did-
start falling out the helicopter.
Just like bodies, not Scarface. Then fucking just people just falling out of helicopters and shit. It was like, how does a bear's death equal more than 2 people?
Because it's an endangered species and it's
Yeah,
a federal
exactly.
crime.
I was
Yeah,
like,
you're not allowed to kill, especially the black bears, I believe, are endangered species. You cannot kill them.
you also can't kill people. I'm
Yeah,
just
okay.
saying,
And it just depends on why you kill them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and you can
It
kill
would
bears.
have to be like actively in the moment. Is he literally about to kill these people right here, right now?
I was just
I know
telling you,
it's
But
stupid.
the boyfriend was an asshole for grabbing the
He
rope.
was,
anyway.
wasn't he?
Like, I was like, dude,
but
But he don't know English.
Chivalry is dead.
you know
Okay.
that
You don't
there's
know-
one man up there in
I'm
the
about to say,
y'all. It's too
you
much.
don't need to know
for
English to
big
know
old
better.
muscly rip. Okay?
Exactly.
he's a muscly, greasy rip.
All you had
I
to
just
do,
love
all you
how
had to
Rip
do
had to
was let the
decide.
girl, let the guy pull
Right.
the girl up first, and then wait his turn. It had nothing to do with the language barrier. He was just selfish. Come on, help me. No. Mm-mm. I was like, no, that is not what a man's supposed to do. Ladies first, period.
Exactly.
I hear you. I just thought this is another example where animals matter much more in this series than people.
Well, it's Yellowstone.
It's
I mean, that's
Yellowstone,
where they make their
David.
money.
I was like,
Duh.
because
The park. I mean,
if you would did some type of investigation, then the sheriff would know that John Dutton in a tuxedo outfit for some reason runs out with a shotgun and threatens a group of Chinese tourists. Later on that day, 2 Chinese tourists end up dead also on his land. And be like, this might be a conversation, right? And I'm like, but they're like, we got to worry about this bear. And you made
but no, the sheriff
Bear
did
had
say
something to do
He
with
did
that
say
incident
something.
as well.
So it's tied this shit together, but they were more chasing the bear. I would have been like, you're right, Jim. That's right. The bear was there then too. I'm like, wait a minute. Did you just threaten these people with a shotgun and told them to get off your land? Yes, I did.
You know what would have been
And
better?
then 2 of them end up dead? Yes, they did.
But they weren't shot. They fell off a cliff.
Yeah, they fell off a
They
cliff. That
They
has
could have been pushed and then the bear ran up.
No, because they had rope burn because she was trying to hold a rope and it burnt her hand. She fell.
This will all have been settled.
I like that,
if-
Stacey. I like that.
This would have been settled if Lottie from Yellow Jackets was there and just convinced the bear to just like
To lay down.
lay down.
And by
die.
the way, we're getting a bonus episode of Yellow Jackets coming out
a
before.
bonus, like a holiday special, like what?
Yes.
Like what the fuck are we talking
gonna have
about? Why we
Christmas-
need to-
I don't.
A
Who asked
4th
for
of
this?
July special.
I was like, stop it. I don't want
What do you mean a bonus episode?
That's what they
Kim?
said.
What?
That's what they said.
That's
the
what they
writer
said. It's
there'll
gonna be a
be a
bonus.
bonus episode before.
What does it mean?
Let's not.
Is it gonna be like what the bonus episode for what do you call it
Like Doctor Strange? I mean Doctor.
no
Who?
like what do you call it the zombie show we were watching before oh my god, the thing on HBO where
Last
they
of Us.
Last of
The
Us.
Last of Us, where they had the Left Behind. Is it going to be like the Left Behind for the Yellow Jackets?
I don't know, but no one's left behind because we all know how the story ends. So I don't. Maybe it's gonna be maybe the.
Well, we know how the story ends for the Last of Us too.
If you play the game, but for that. But anyway, let's talk about Casey and his murder spree. So he kills his brother-in-law, who again has no name, not once.
Well, let's say why he killed his brother-in-law, because I would have killed him too.
I would have too. That's two.
Yes.
I hear you. I'm just saying it's strange though that he
kill my brother. I'm
he
killing
killed
you.
Again, they're all justified, but I'm saying, he killed the brother. He killed the brother-in-law. This causes a funeral, but says brother-in-law did not get a funeral. Brother-in-law's death caused his wife to kill herself, which caused all the kids to have to go up to Washington State. Like, it was consequences to this murder. And Monica makes no effort, and Daddy makes no effort to go, what happened to my brother? Like, was there an investigation? Was there a file? Like, can someone get justice for my brother, a veteran, mind you, who should have got a military funeral? Like, he gets none of this shit. She just goes, husband, do you know anything that happened to my brother that night? Anyway, I'm gonna take a shower, and
I don't know. It seemed like she cared enough about her brother as if the rest of the Duttons cared that much about Lee. It seemed like both of them. It seemed like the creators were just like, you know what? Let's get rid of Lee and let's get rid of this no-name brother from Monica, and just get rid of both of them. Boom, that takes care of that problem.
Lee had a name. Lee had a funeral. Lee's death turned into them killing the medical examiner and blowing up the entire building. That somehow made complete sense. And they're like, yeah, that's.
And then it never was brought up again, as you brought up before.
Yeah.
Nope.
Damn it.
But to that point, I'm like, they spent more time on the attempted rape of that girl and the burial burning of the bodies that were involved with that, and then the uncovering of that, and then the the tribal leader breaking the bones in front of the construction worker's face to show that it was fresh. Then these other two people that are related to the main story characters.
Yes. I did not understand how all this happened. All of this to stop the medical examiner's report from getting out. Why didn't they just take the laptop? And oh, by the way, the Indian tribe already has a copy of the report because Tom Rainwater is reading it. And it's like, this is going to bring down the Dutton family. But then he does nothing with this report.
Well, he does nothing because it was, it shows the gun.
What?
The gun. Remember the gun?
No, that's a different murder. So now you're fast forwarding. That's a different murder. So that's when he killed the meth person that blew himself up, and then they switched out barrels, which was stupid because the reservation is the one that was going to investigate it, and they weren't going to investigate it. So that was unnecessary too. Then he kills two other meth dealers, I guess, / kidnappers, maybe rapists.
They were predators. They were raping that girl, and that's why she didn't want to. She wanted them dead.
I hear that, but she also were meth dealers because like the guy didn't show up with the whole like Breaking Bad outfit.
Oh yeah, wasn't that weird?
They're meth.
Confused for a second.
They're cooking meth out there.
Is he trying to keep DNA out? Does he just take his stuff out?
It's all the fumes.
And screw with the thing on?
It's all the fumes from the meth. I was like, where's Heisenberg in this shit? My point is, Heisenberg should have came down. Like, it should have been a whole meth operation that Casey was taking down. And like, that would have been a storyline. And then he could use his Navy SEAL training to kill all these meth dealers to justify all these murders he's committing. And most of them are meth related. I'm like, it's just random ass people he's just killing. And then that random ass wolf that just walked across the street, and then that got murdered. I'm like, what
type of
Meth in
shot is
Montana-
he that he can shoot into a meth van, kill the exact person, and not have any concern for anything blowing up?
He's a Navy SEAL. You didn't see Under Siege? I'm kidding. I don't fucking know. I was like, that's how they do it. And wait. After doing all of that, he goes, hey, can I go back to the SEALs? Sure, man. It's like, join Macy's. You can just show up whenever you want. Okay, click. Then he goes out and practices shooting.
Yeah.
You're pretty good, bro. You don't need to be out there shooting anything. Like, you know how to murder people. We've seen this a couple of times. Like, you are fine. But he's like, I gotta practice.
About him leaving.
I'm like, that was the whole reason that they knew that it was him, was because when he shot the brother-in-law, it was in like a circle pattern. And it was like, nobody, who the hell can do that?
Also true.
Yeah.
Also true. What's up, Stacey?
Can he talk about him leaving the kid in the drainage and the kid
murdering
the poor snake?
Yes,
Woo.
episode 3.
Tate is on a journey. Okay,
He really is.
Falling
But right now he's on a dinosaur journey. Okay, he's on the dinosaur.
Those bones go nowhere.
He is, and his little foot.
I was like, he falls in the river, almost drowns. He almost gets killed by a snake. Sees his mom get knocked the fuck out and bleed all over the ground.
Stupid to go running in between those boys fighting.
Right, she was.
And then that
this
little
big.
her getting her head buzzed all of a sudden made her look at her husband like, you know what, you ain't shit. So I'm taking a kid and we're leaving.
No.
What?
No. She woke up after getting her head knocked out and said, "You killed my brother. I figured it out. How the fuck did we get here?" That's what
I had that as a question to you guys. How Monica?
How in the
How did Monica figure that out?
Stop it. They better said his Indian spirit came to her and spoke to her like Yoda and was like,
while she was out of it.
It was like Yoda.
No, that was that sage that the father was burning in the hospital room, and they said that's clear oxygen. That's pure oxygen. That's right next to her. You're about to blow the whole building up.
I was like, I would have believed that the spirit of her brother came to her in the sage session and was like, "Your husband killed me. Trust me. Okay, I got this." I would have took that better. I would have been like, "Hey, again, keep watching." So like, I definitely would have been like, that would have been something, because this made no sense. I was very upset. I thought she had amnesia because I didn't see that part when I watched.
Because she was like, I don't know him.
I don't know you. I was like, oh,
and I was like, what? Okay.
I didn't get that either.
You remember grandpa,
did not get that
and you
part.
remember your son, but not your husband. Okay.
But then I thought they played with that though. I thought, didn't they? Casey also says like it's me or whatever, as if like Casey thought that, and then she had to clarify like, no, I don't mean that. I don't like know who you are. Like I meant like you as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think
they did.
How does she not know her husband is crazy?
Well, so it's not, again, it's more of the issue what he killed the brother and didn't tell her and like almost lied about it. I think that was more the issue. That's what she was going with. And I'm like,
yeah.
But she said that he never lies to her.
Yeah.
She said he never lies to her. They always talk.
Omit stuff. Because it's been plenty of times. She's like, do I want to know? He's like, no.
Okay.
And she's like, okay.
Yeah, but that's they still had a conversation about it, right? This time,
your husband is crazy.
Nothing.
Well, I mean, she knew this. She's like, "Yo, you married a man that spent how many tours overseas?
Yes.
He's gonna come back damaged."
To make it seem like it was the dad. She's like, when you brought the dad back.
Yeah.
I was like, what does he have to do with it?
Right, like I shot your brother, whoever his name is, because he tried to kill my brother. But again,
insert name.
You don't go to the cops and go, hey, police chief, give me the file. What did you find out about my brother? Just give me that. And then she reads the file and she comes to the logical conclusion. It had to be my husband. You know what I'm saying? He was my brother was military trained. Whoever shot him was military trained. It had a perfect
Jeremiah. He does have a name. Jeremiah Bitsu. That's his name.
Oh, okay. Well, they never said it.
Exactly.
Jeremiah.
I
feel like I heard Jeremiah in the first season, the name Jeremiah.
You did.
I think from Rainwater. I think Rainwater said his name.
You did.
Oh, did he? Okay. Because
we
didn't know what he was talking about.
When we were looking at autopsy stuff, though, I think it was like the name was After he was dead. I'm not saying during the thing, because you're right. They shitted on him as the character. You're right.
I was like, damn it. I wanted to, I think, again, the father doesn't check on the investigation of his son. Like Monica, it just irritated the fuck out of me, like how they treated this whole situation. And again, it looked cool. So Fred, back it up. I feel like Fred should have helped. Not that Rip needs help, but to make the story make sense, if Fred would have helped him kill the medical examiner, when they kill Fred and John, and his justification to John is he's been around and he's seen some stuff, right? Then we know that Fred is a liability. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know who Fred is. Like, he beats up, Jimmy a couple of times, and then all of a sudden, he's an asshole, and now we gotta throw him off a cliff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, who is Fred, and what does he know that if he starts talking, that like it's gonna be?
Oh, well, that I didn't need them to clarify that. The shit that Rip does, Rip is breaking the law all the time for John. So and the Cowboys are helping him. That's why they're branded men. So yes, that I assumed. I mean, you have to assume the reason why he's seen things. We know what he's talking about, and so that's why he needs to die.
He should have heard it.
Why do you need clarification on each and every single thing he's seen? He's seen crimes. He's seen crimes happening.
Which woman though? I need to know.
Just one. I'm not saying he has to be like, I've seen every time. Just one.
Okay, they don't have time to be like, no. The number one thing Fred saw was this. The number two thing he saw was this. They don't have time for that.
I'm glad they did it the way they did it. Let me tell you why. Because I understand in the sense of, like, typically in the show or in the movie, like, you want to see what exactly he witnessed or whatnot. But the thing is, up until that moment when they went to the train station and whatnot, we did not know how dark these characters were, right? Like, we knew, like, okay, all right, cool. Like, they might be like, say something ugly to another person. Whatnot. We didn't know it got that dark until all of a sudden they dropped them off at the train station, aka the cliff. I feel like it would have been a spoiler if all of a sudden I don't know. I felt like it was. I thought the way they planned it, as far as like we witnessed the first body, in that sense. You know what I mean? We're not talking about just someone being justified here.
It's the first body we've seen on camera.
Yeah. I felt like that was.
I think the medical examiner happened first.
Well, yeah, okay. The first, okay. So then,
the medical examiner happened first.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we seen Rip just murder a man and let him smoke some embalming fluid before he blew him up. I'm saying, so we know that things can get rowdy in this group. So Fred was not the first body. He was the first person taken to the train station. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But he was not the first body. So it would have been nice if they just would have so we know who Fred is. It's like kind of like From when these characters show up for one episode and all of a sudden you're supposed to be like, oh, that's the guy, and then whatever. And then they die and we're supposed to act like we give a fuck. And I'm like, no.
I warned you about that show, by the way. But anyway, go ahead.
Why do you have to use that as an example out of all the shows?
I know, right? I'm just saying because actually that's something I want to put a pin in that because I want to talk about that.
Ironically, David, I mean, guess what? There's nobody from Yellowstone, but we get somebody from Lost in Yellowstone. So I just want to point that out. They haven't been introduced to that character yet.
Okay, my bad. All right.
Season 3. Season 3.
All right. So
can we talk about that? Tate needed his ass whooped in the hospital when he hit the nurse.
Where I wanted to bring up this, Tate deserves whatever he gets, because I'm like,
because his ass is out of control.
All right, so there's a scene before the hospital scene, right, where they're telling. The first few episodes was go to your room, go in the house. It was they didn't want Tate around, right? His parents, and it was no, I don't want to. And he's just like, okay then. So it was like, cover your ears. I'm about to blow up a tractor in the front yard.
Yes.
I was like,
that's just bad parenting. But I mean, to your point.
Well, no, they are bad parents, because even the grandpa was like, do I have permission to discipline Tate? And he took him outside and talked to him. Yeah. And the little boy did not understand anything this man was trying to say to him. Yeah. Like, he didn't get it.
To try.
Yeah, exactly. And then he was like, I'm hungry. Is the food ready? I was like, I want to snatch him through the TV and slap the shit out of him and then put him in his room.
Yeah.
Tate is going to be Casey. Tate is going to be Casey.
Keep watching. So so speaking of childhood trauma, so real quick. So when Beth, this season they established Beth is free. She is wild. She's in your face, and a lot, and that all.
And she takes baths in horse.
Oh, Dave, be careful.
Trough
Isn't
or
that?
whatever.
I think you're going too far.
No, I'm
as far as
not.
season.
I got it. I got it.
That
If
was
this-
Oh, okay. You're going to stop. Okay.
I got you. So
I didn't know
if
where
I'm-
you were going with the whole thing with Beth. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I
to
was about to say,
the point,
damn.
it's all go back. It's mommy. It all go back to the mom. She jumps
Right.
naked into the bathtub because of her mom. She didn't want to get on the horse because of her mom. Like a lot of this comes back to that. And then in this season, they try to bring this to a conclusion, right? They show you that like why did her mom treat her like shit? Supposedly because she's trying to teach her how to be a woman, which we see that. And then she does get on a horse again. Because
I like that scene. I thought that scene was really good.
Yeah.
That was a great scene.
and I was like,
Stunt double earned her money that day.
oh yeah. As an actress, I guess.
Yeah, I was saying because she fell off that horse a good many times.
Twice, man.
I'm pretty sure that was a stunt double.
I
That's
hope
what I
it
said.
was.
I said, yeah, a stunt double.
Oh, I
earned
said the
money that-
actress. I was like,
Yeah,
but,
she
but
should have broke her pelvis doing that one.
yeah. But she always beat up the governor because she's like, you're not replacing my mama. She doesn't want to eat at the dinner table because she see that's her mama's place at the end of
Yeah.
the table. Like everything revolves around like losing the mom, and her mom basically saying this is your fault. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
and the trauma that she carries because of that. But they tried to kind of wrap that up in the season, which is interesting. And then again, something else will happen later. We'll talk about that. But her relationship with Jamie also, I think they tried their best to kind of mend that relationship this season with them in the car. And Jamie's like,
that stunt double because the way that car stopped when she let off that gun, that like the skid marks and everything, that was a great stunt scene.
But you're right, David. I love that by the end of the season we did see Jamie and Beth finally mend fences. So I really hope we just continue to have them
yo, bitch.
continuously be that loving of a brother and sister.
But to that, the joy she had on her face in season 1 of taking everything away from Jamie, like she
Loved it.
She was
She
very
loved
much
it.
like you ain't shit.
Yes.
And I was like,
Loved it.
but
you know what that reminded me of Color Purple was it Sugar Avery's like, you sure is ugly. Like, you know, that's what that shit reminded me. I'm like,
Well, that
damn,
leads-
like, why you gonna tell that to Whoopi? Like leave her alone.
Still, I mean, Jamie. I mean, sure, and Jamie. Then so Jamie, them fighting like siblings, like and him slapping them in the face, and he finally just knocking her out, and she's like, "Why'd you do that?" I'm like, you don't step up to a fight unless you're ready to fight. Like, I'm not sure, and then don't go crying to daddy. I'm like, fuck. I mean, I'm like, so let's not.
Okay, look, no. I'm sorry. You do not punch a woman, period. Okay. He's a man. He could have grabbed her and threw her down. There are so many other things you can do.
Oh yeah, because
other
people
than
don't get up. You're right.
punching
Absolutely.
someone, a woman in the
It's
face.
like, oh,
Sorry.
I fell to the ground. Oh, the fight's over, I guess.
No, you don't punch a woman. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. It's your brother, your cousin, your boyfriend, your whatever. You do
If
not
anything, that would
punch.
give me a more of a position to want to fight him. I'm like, yo, you a sibling, so all bets are off. I don't look at you as a female. I just see you as a bitch. Like, and I'm just
no.
yes.
Oh God.
Like, come on now.
Wow.
Like,
Stacey was clutching her pearls. What are your thoughts, Stacey?
I'm just saying, you gonna come at me like a man. I'm gonna treat you like a man. Just to
But
quote
she
that bus
did
driver.
say, like, she was challenging him, right?
Mm.
And he was like, okay, well, if that's what you want. And then she flipped it like us women do. Oh, a real man would have never hit me. Like,
I'm
stop.
like, oh my God.
No, she said a real man would have walked away. That's what she said.
Same difference.
But I mean, she was full of shit. But it
Yeah.
all goes
All
back.
right.
She would have said something even if he did walk away. That's the
All
point.
right,
That's
so
the
I'm
point.
She
going
did-
to
if he
agree to
didn't hit
disagree
her,
with all of
she
y'all
would've said
because
something.
I don't condone any man and any woman punching a man either way. But
I'm
a
a-
man punching a woman, he could have killed her with one punch. A man is always stronger than a woman. And if you punch, I'm telling you, but you know, there's a lot of men in jail right now who are like, she hit me first. And yes, a lot of men in jail from doing
I'm
what
gonna say,
you're saying
there's
is
a lot of
okay to do. So
there's a lot of women ain't fight men because of that too, though. I mean, so it's
okay,
like
I'm just saying.
I'm
all
just
right.
saying, like
No, we agree to disagree on that one.
I'm just sorry, but I at times Beth, I'm sorry. Sometimes Beth does need a hit in the mouth.
But
I'm
that's
sorry.
why you walk
know what I mean?
away from her because she wants you. She wants you to
She
engage
will not.
her.
The
Walk
problem
away
is
from
people
her.
have not been hitting her enough. Apparently, You know what I mean? You
So
think his
So it's
father?
your job to hit her.
You think her father has ever like spanked her? I doubt that.
So
Her
Chris,
mother, that was probably her mother who did that,
so
and
Chris,
her
so
mother,
Chris,
and then her mother died, so she got off the rails. Like, nah,
Okay, so
fam.
when you have a child, when you have your daughter,
And if she mouths
and
off
she-
like that, I'm
no,
like,
Chris,
yeah, you
no,
know.
you're not. You are not gonna want a
Are
man to
you
punch your
kidding
daughter in the
me?
face. No, you're not.
Huh?
no, he was again. We are truly
not.
not correct. My point to this is
Yeah, hit me with some jukebox. All right, let's come. Like, come on, like,
Dude,
come on.
there was
Like,
not.
oh, you made a tape with another girl? Like, I know.
So the point with this with
No, jukebox, the Raising Cane.
Oh,
Raising
okay.
Cane,
I'm like, what is
Raising
this season, and I can say the series does not give us the answer to that question. What was John's parenting style towards Beth at all? After before or after mom is gone, like you don't get that. Like she has a 100 blind commitment to her dad, and that's not really explained. Like where that comes from. They kind of explore her relationship with the mom, but not really with the dad. And on the episode of her,
I mean,
the anniversary of her death,
girl?
huh?
I mean, she's a girl. Girls and their daddies have a thing.
That's true.
Even if you don't really get along with your daddy, it's still like it's a thing. I can't really explain it.
That's a good point. And then boys are usually vice versa.
Yeah, boys are the same way with their mothers.
Okay, so so this opens the next statement, which why is
I want to know about Utah. Like, do you guys ever get any clarity on Utah?
Where Beth was at in the beginning. Remember? Beth
So that comes later. That comes later.
Was it like rehab or something?
No. She did business. Well, I mean, the stuff. The stuff we can talk about that was still in season 1. I mean, remember she had like a lot of business deals and whatnot. Started flipping $100 million businesses over in Utah, and because of that business mindset, now she's trying to bring that back home to Yellowstone. You know what I mean? So
I do like the way she threatened John at the end, where she was like, as soon as you're gone, I'm selling everything, starting with that damn table.
Yeah, she did not mince words, did she?
Like, at least she honest.
Well, so I thought that was cool. Well, I think she just honest because she repeatedly says that. Like but I didn't realize why she hated the table, but now I do because like that her and that table are a thing like for a while.
Yeah.
Casey, to your point of sons and moms, Casey made no effort to remember that, or Jamie, but Casey in particular, when his mom died, because they made a whole episode about remembering. Obviously Beth remembers. She was very self-destructive and
but Casey's the baby. You got to remember, Casey's the baby of the kids.
Casey watched his mom die and sat all night with her dead body. So
yeah, he did.
Was that Casey or Jamie?
That was Casey.
That was Casey, and he fought. He tried to fight off the wolves that were trying to get to her body.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that was Kate. Okay, for some reason I thought that was either Jamie or Lee or something.
That's because he didn't care. That's your point. That's the point. Like he was like, you would think that he wasn't even there. You would think he wasn't even there because he was like, it's a Tuesday. What day?
He blocked it out as PTSD. Yeah.
I was like, no. After that, and seeing his wife almost die, you would think that these kind of things would like change him. Like Dexter, he said all night with his dead mama, and he became a serial killer. Like it did not work out well for him. Like I thought it was just kind of weird that Casey did not even go, hey, you know what today is, or I got to do something special for today. Like it was Beth and John to an extent who decided I'm gonna get some ass today because I don't want to remember. But he told that woman to take off that robe though. Like he wasn't fucking around with that. He was like, governor or not, you took off my wife's robe.
Yeah, because he's still traumatized by that. He still misses his wife. He still loves her.
I was like, hilarious.
But Beth was like, she better not come back in the house. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
bitch, you live in Utah, in Salt Lake City. You can't control who your dad has sleeping in his bed. Like, what are we doing here?
I feel like Beth can't make up her mind. Well, I guess we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that later. So, and that's the change.
Yeah, but you know where I'm going with this.
I know you're going with that.
Like, what the hell?
And the Beth of season 1 is not the Beth of later. It's just not. And this particular.
Well, no. Don't get me wrong. I see your face says no. Don't worry. She's still cussing a mile a minute and still getting angry at everyone who looks at her wrong. You know what I mean? But I also know what you're talking about too.
Yeah. Yeah, but also, I just, to your point, when she told the governor that she was like, you want to piss in every corner. I know how women think. Like, you're not replacing my mama. Like you can fuck in hotels, but not in my mama's bed. And then John was like, she can fuck whatever bed she want. Don't embarrass me like this.
Yeah.
which comes around to be a thing later. Her again back in this. What's up, Joy?
I want to say the whole thing about as far as what we talked on Beth and what's the real estate guy in his name?
Dan
Dan Jenkins.
Dan's wife.
Oh,
Those two. I was like, that reminded me kind of like P Valley. I was like, oh, she's trying to get at him through girlfriend.
Oh.
No, Stacey, remember the whole like her sexual devitations that she had.
Well,
like, yeah.
Well, no. She brought her assistant, Jason.
She did.
Jason,
but she was like all like she was ready to do
but
what.
she went down on the assistant, and Dan saw her.
Yeah.
Remember he was looking at her out the window.
Yeah. So I said the wife.
The wife is wild.
The wife was wild, but I'm saying Beth is always a flirt. I'm saying, but she brought Jason to take care of the wife. Really, Dan should not have been in this season because he was done once John rerouted the water. To me, like once John did that, like the whole land development, subdivision went away. And Dan didn't even come back to like episode 3. You know what I'm saying? Like he really wasn't a threat. I mean, it was, if anything, like rainwater was more the issue to the extent that he was an issue.
But that was with the whole. That's the reason why we saw him is because Rainwater was trying to make the deal with Dan, and
they could
the later parts of the season.
They could use another character. I mean, just for me, I wasn't impressed with them.
I guess because you seem further ahead, but I'm saying as of where we're at, I'm like, he was the only character
that Rainwater could have used. The Tom could have used for that.
Yeah, and I'm like, Rainwater was in jail and then he was released, and it was like, why was that even a thing? That looks like something that was like, we want something for a preview for this next episode. And we're going to have Rainwater in jail, and John Dutton is going to come in and have a conversation with him while he's in a orange jumpsuit or whatever. And it's going to not mean anything to the rest of the series.
You know what doesn't mean anything? Where was he going? He was dressed up in a tuxedo trying to give a speech or something, and he never arrived. And no one ever asked the question, where is Tom? He was probably going to go see the senator, who also never came back. The senator in the pilot, he was like, you're going to have the full weight of my office behind you. And you never saw her again.
Wait, and who is she? Like, what was her name?
Exactly. It don't matter.
He just kept calling her senator.
That's it. It's
and
fine.
That was it. And I was like, okay. And then we never saw her again.
Exactly. So it's like it's whatever. But I mean, the man allows one of his fellow, Indian, a veteran again, to be murdered. That doesn't make any attention. He gets arrested, and then that doesn't go anywhere. Also, John just wanted to show him that no matter where you go, I'm in charge.
I still like that scene. I'm sorry. I love the scene. I thought it was a good scene.
I mean, put race and background aside, which I understand why Tom would go there. I understand that, but he would have did that to anyone who stole his cattle. Like he would just like, I run this shit. Like this is my town, right? And these are my cattle. So
I had a question about that to anybody who knows the answer. Remember that scene? Okay, when they first saw that the cattle had crossed over into the reservation, right?
Yeah.
And remember, I think it was I don't know if it was one of the sons or one of the Native Americans. I'm not sure which one. Native. Native
American's fine. It's fine.
Okay. So anyway, I wanted to know, remember when someone said that the barbed wire had been cut?
Yes.
And one of the cowboys, I thought they said, remember, it was here yesterday or something like that. They said So did one of the people in the reservation cut the barbed wire so that the cattle would move over? Yes. I thought it was the brother who did that.
No.
So Monica's brother who cut the barbed wire.
It was the Indian side. Like John, so Tom did want the cattle to move. Like that was on purpose. So then he could try to keep them. Like that was the
Yeah. Okay. So it was Tom. Tom had them do it on his behalf.
Yeah, it was a bigger plan. It was a bigger plan.
Okay. Because I was kind of confused on it. I was like, well, who did that and why would that happen? Because there should be barbed wire there, but clearly it was gone.
Yeah, to prevent such things. But in the end, it didn't mean anything because he spent to Jamani's point, he spent one night in jail and he was like, here's your cattle, sir. I'm sorry. I did not mean to hurt your feelings. And that never got brought up again because You don't mess with
Because John threw his weight around as usual.
He should have flew the helicopter to the prison and just talked to him from the helicopter and been like, I don't come down. I'm John. Give me back my cattle. And he's like, yes, sir. I'm sorry. And then he just flies off. I would be like, yeah.
I mean, you're right. It didn't go anywhere in the sense of like that particular plot or whatever for that one, but I think it was just kind of just showing the dynamic, because I did watch a little bit of like 1923, and it was just kind of just shows the back and forth between the Duttons and then the Indians in the sense of like power moves, being like, that was our land that y'all stole. That like, and then there's like, but I guess my point is, if you watch, like, you watch 1923, they do stuff to be like, like, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that. I think that's all that was. I mean, yeah, it didn't go anywhere in the sense of like it coming back, but it was to establish that even today, they still have to deal with like this power hierarchy, this power struggle between these guys and the natives.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think that's all that was.
But you imply there's power on both sides, and that's my problem. Like, there's no struggle, you know, because John does what he wants when he wants. Like he was never actually concerned, you know, about the Indians. Like, so it's like and I would say in the maybe the prequels there was more of an equal footing, maybe a little bit, but
I think maybe 1923. Well, I mean, I won't quote you, but there's certain things that happen that there's like, it's not as powerful as you think. You know what I mean? At least not at first. But they were the Duttons were getting power. They were definitely getting power. But but it was kind of a backfoot. But there's certain things they did to them that kind of weakened them. You know what I mean? In a sense. So I think that's what they were trying to do here. They were trying to like, let's weaken them by taking the cattle. Because that's literally their bread.
Money.
Yeah,
didn't John say like one cow is like $1,500 a day to feed, right? And take care of. And then so profits go down when they're not able to.
I mean, one leaves, like one disappear. Well, how many thousands is that right there?
He said close to $1,100. He said $1,100, like a grown. He was talking to Lee. He was like, this should be a $400 investment now that grows up to $1,100 profit, like at some point.
Yeah.
And that's why when Jimmy brought back that one little scraggler. Yeah. Remember the I think that was still kind of a baby. It was so small. And then Jimmy bought that one back. That's why that was such a big deal, because one left behind could be someone else's money in the bank, right? So
it's also about genes too. You got to remember the whole genetic component. Like the Duttons raised for like more than 100 and something years or whatnot, and now all of a sudden someone else has access to it.
Yeah, that's true.
That thing becomes like a freaking bull.
Yeah,
and then that like. You know,
that's true.
So let me just say this: the guy I was telling you about from the 1883 show, I watched him on The Ranch, right, on Netflix, and that's probably why I've continued to watch this, because I love that show as a comedy, as a sitcom, and that's all that is. This is basically just this. This is just basically this show, but in a sitcom form, because they want a cattle ranch, and it's, you know, we gotta get ready for cattle selling season. You know, have they had all their antibiotics? You know, did one get off the no pun intended reservation or off the ranch, or, you know, escape? Have they been tagged and branded, and, you know, all of this type of stuff? And, you know, you have Ashton Kutcher, who, you know, who's the, you know, resident fuck up, and, you know, so, you know, things are going to ensue.
I think, well, I didn't know that. Well, I mean,
but it's not, to me, that it's like apples and oranges. Like that's the only thing that makes them the same. This is a drama. That was a comedy.
Yeah, I'm saying, but it takes place on the same
location,
on a ranch.
Location with the same, you know,
in Montana.
Let's say, yeah. Oh no, it's not Montana, but, you know, it's still a farm out in the middle of the Midwest, nowhere. Yeah.
So
it's been in, you know, it's been in their family for hundreds of years, and it's about yeah, I'm doing this for you kids, and the kids are like, I don't know. I'd rather take the money and do something else with it. But no, you have to want this, and I want you to want this, and you're gonna work here, and until you want this.
Do you want to want this? All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're not gonna
Yeah.
want to want this. Well, we're not gonna review that. No, I'm just kidding. Real quick, so we gotta get to Jamie. Jamie, the lawyer who does really, I think, works hard for the family. I mean, John is always like, fix this and fix that and fix Casey. Go get the helicopter, ride to the reservation, get my son out of whatever murder he just did. I'm sure he did something. And then he wants to run for state attorney because John runs the state. So it's like he gets to pick the because he's livestock commissioner, whatever the fuck. And then Christina shows up. So then Beth figures out that Christina's gonna be there for the draws, which she does give up quite quickly.
Yeah, quite easily.
Yes.
Well, she had to give him some incentive to win.
That's
Right?
true. That's true.
But she was like,
You just got your ass whooped. Let me give you some draws. And he's like, you know what? I'm running for office, baby. This becomes a theme. You'll see. But just a lot of strong women characters in this show overall. I would not use Christina as one of them, but I'm saying like she pushes her man to get from point A to point B. Beth is a very, very strong character. They brought in Melody, was supposed to be a strong woman. So then Dan brought in her to kind of fight, if you will, fight Beth. Avery also, which again, I didn't see that last episode when I watched the series the first time. So I was like, oh, who the hell is she? And then like she comes in and she's a very strong character. So I was very impressed overall with the women characters of the show.
I guess you got to be if you're going to be living out in Montana. You can't be no weakling, huh?
I'm just saying, with this show, I mean, usually these shows like these women, like Snowfall, in Snowfall, the women are kind of like side characters, like they only matter as it relate to a man.
Oh,
right?
I see.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these women are in the lead, and like they are the character.
Well, again, you got to remember,
like a weak character for the first season. Season, Monica.
Yeah. She does evolve over the series.
I'm saying first season, she's very
She don't. Her husband just got arrested. She asked no fucking questions. What were you arrested for? Who'd you murder this time? Something like she asked nothing, and she runs to the white man. And this is important because then she finds out that hey, your husband got branded because he got me pregnant. Yes.
Wait a minute. She didn't run to the white man. She ran to the man. She ran to her father-in-law, who just happens to be white. Because guess what? She's married to his son.
How about you talk to your own daddy who lives on the
What is her old ass daddy gonna do?
Bunch of
Get
sage.
Casey out of jail.
Bunch of sage, I guess.
Go talk to an Indian can talk to another Indian to get your husband out of jail.
She's trying to get her husband out of jail. She knows the father can do it.
David,
why?
I gotta agree with Kim on this
because
one.
he got a helicopter.
David, I'm sorry, I gotta agree with Kim on this one. I don't know what else you want her to
Chris.
do. There's like what Native American you think she could talk to that would just
she could at least tried. She could have tried.
what?
To get Casey Dutton. Casey Dutton out of jail. Another Native American's gonna do that.
Only a white man could have fixed this situation. He just said that. He was like,
who said that?
You were like, what?
Well, because the father knows that.
The father is a senior person in the he tried. Dad, go talk to your fellow fucking chief and talk to him. She could have tried, but she's like, no, John can fix this.
No, but she's not.
John has no authority on that reservation.
What are you talking about? No, but she knows her father-in-law. She doesn't know who Rainwater is. Like, not really.
She knows her own daddy. She knows her. Go talk to the dad. Like you.
Well, he's going to do some sage stuff.
Even the father said this is something that the white man can fix, that he cannot fix. That's just, it's his son. You mean to tell me that she should have skipped over the father of the child or the man's son who went to jail?
I was going to say, when does Monica tell her father-in-law that his own son is arrested? Like, when does that happen, David?
So I'm like, oh my God. It would be easier to talk to your father than to the man that your husband grown.
Why would I talk to my own father when my spouse?
Neither one of them are lawyers. One of them actually lives on the reservation and might have some actually more authority.
Well, that is his father, though. That makes sense.
If Monica was in jail, let me ask you this: if Monica was in jail, it was flipped. Monica's in jail. Should Casey go to Monica's dad and try to get her out of jail, or should she go to John Dutton?
Where is she arrested?
Flip it. The same situation.
Where is she arrested?
Monica's in jail.
Where?
She's arrested. Casey's like, oh my God, what do I do?
The reservation. My question: on the reservation or off the reservation? Because it does matter.
It's the exact same thing. I'm saying
if she's arrested on the reservation,
it's just no. What I'm saying is flip it. It's exact same situation. Casey's arrested. Now instead of Casey, it's Monica. Who does Casey go to get Monica out of jail?
You know Casey was arrested on the reservation, right?
I'm asking you a question.
I'm asking you. Do know she was arrested on the reservation, right?
So who does Casey go to get Monica out of jail? Her father?
The reservation.
And then the father will go to Rainwater? Or does he go to John Dutton, his dad, who he knows can get her out of jail?
What the fuck does he know? What does John know? Exactly. What?
Okay, and I'm like, why is it going to John Dutton? Because John Dutton knows John Dutton's going to do is go to Jamie. So why would anybody go to just Jamie?
So John doesn't do shit. John has money. John has resources. So she knows that she can intimidate the reservation.
Dave,
so let's not act like John can bring something to the table. Like if this was off the reservation, then John would have more authority.
John got Jamie, who's the lawyer for the family, to get Casey
on the
out of jail.
reservation. My whole point is that they could. I'm sure there's people on the reservation that because she also denies a job because John gave it to her. She also goes, I don't want.
Yeah, because that'd be taken away from the reservation if she got that job.
They get a handle on the reservation. Is my whole point. Like she runs to John when it's
that kind of didn't work out for her though.
It actually did because he got off the he got out of jail pretty quickly. So it did work out.
And also,
I'm talking about her staying at that school and her getting,
but Casey is not a member of the reservation. He lives on the reservation. And what did they say to him? What did the father-in-law say to him? The Native American, he said, you need to go to your people because this is not your people. This is their reservation. So if she would have went to the higher ups on the reservation to ask for help with Casey, they would have told her the same thing as her dad told her. He's not a member of our reservation. He belongs to them. So go to them and try to get him out of jail. That's true. I'm just saying. That's true.
All right. It's fine.
It would have just ended up at the same bargaining table with Rainwater at the end of the day, because I'm like, it would have just been like the guy who who knocked Monica out when he just walked in there and had a conversation with him. It was like, don't charge him for now.
Also true. So I mean, Rainwater would have solved this easily because I mean, so just like he didn't arrest him for killing the brother-in-law, which he knows he did. So like, I mean, Rainwater could have solved this issue. They just want Jamie to help out. I get it, and they wanted John to be like the hero. I get it, and I'm saying, but it just anyway. I just kind of irritated.
How unsafe is this ranch though? Like, how is it that they're going to strap Jimmy down with some duct tape to make sure he like tries to break these horses in? Why don't you just put like a dummy on there? I mean, I guess they got a dummy. You know what I mean? But like,
I had a question about that. So I know you guys have that other equipment that us women do not have, right? Know what I'm talking about. So if
I have no idea, can you expound?
No,
what exactly are you talking about, Kimberly?
It's that thing that makes babies, that helps to make babies. Okay.
What about that?
So if you're bouncing, right? Now, from what my sons have told me, bouncing on those two things kind of after a while is painful. Okay.
Put it out the way.
You're not supposed to bounce with you. You're supposed to go with you.
So shouldn't this man have gone to see a medical professional?
An actual doctor.
Because something is wrong. Gotta be something wrong with that area right now. He was on there for hours. Wasn't it 4 hours?
Look,
the whole day.
Oh my God.
To your point. Yeah, he should have went to the doctor. There's probably something wrong down there with testicles at some level. Which is why
because remember he couldn't even walk.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. You're right, and it don't get better for him.
He's
but-
like Doc. I like to check my sperm count right now. I think it's
Two.
rather low.
It's
at the
two.
moment.
It's zero.
It's like
Okay.
and
I was like,
that-
damn, Lance Armstrong has a better chance of making babies than I do. Like,
and then that also
That was
becomes
a low blow. That was low.
I know for him it was too.
It was
You
low.
know what I mean?
Stop it.
Wait, I took personal umbrage towards that scene
Oh, please.
when Jimmy is trying to teach Beth how to ride a horse and she's falling off, and he says to her, a horse
Walker.
lets you know what it feels about you, right? And because I've ridden a horse twice and I will never ride a horse again because of,
It can
Beth's
feel you.
mother, Christopher Reeves, all those different situations. But the same thing has happened to me both times I've gotten on a horse. And for those reasons, I will never get on a horse again.
But what happened to you?
Yeah.
Every time I get on a horse,
You fall
Uh-huh.
off.
the horse shits. And then, because
But they always shit.
and they will not let you get off the horse while the horse is shitting.
Because it'll kick you.
So you have to sit there for however long it takes for it to finish and sit there and smell it.
Yeah,
I
you do.
did. Okay, I did.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is every time I've gotten on a horse. So I'm
No
Yeah.
more horses for you.
I'm like,
Well,
this is not gonna become like a routine. Like, okay, horses think that of me. Okay, fine.
well, at least it
You
didn't
used
get
to it,
bit
though.
by a tick and throw you off
Yo.
and get impaled on a fence.
Crazy. I was
Like,
like,
I'm not going to Montana.
yeah,
Yeah.
that shit was wild. I was like, and she's still alive. But anyway,
I wanted him to kind of pull out. I was like, well, can't find no train tracks, but this will have to do. That's how I'm like.
sorry, baby.
I
Sorry,
was like,
baby.
damn it, Rip, you're not. It's like, damn, if this is a soprano, he would just be like, yeah, that knocks out two birds right now.
No,
like,
I mean,
damn
people
it.
probably were looking for her. But Jimmy does have a very, even this season, a very redeemable arc, like a compelling arc. Like I said, he tries to get himself together. He saves
I'll
the
say,
cow.
yeah, Jimmy's my favorite character in the entire show. Jimmy.
Really?
Well, I mean, you'll see. Well, okay, maybe here's the. I seen the whole series. I think that's why I say that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
That's why. That's
Jimmy-
yeah.
I like his transition. Like that's what I enjoyed. Like we saw him when he was first in that. It looked like a mess trailer to me. Like it was filthy. It was just
Yeah.
disgusting. And now we see that he's actually kind of made friends, right? And then his attitude from when he first got there is changing over time. You can see that he's more accepting of his situation, that he doesn't feel like he's in jail anymore, that he feels like a brotherhood now, something that he probably has
Sounds
never felt in
familiar.
his entire. Huh?
You said it sounds familiar, David. All these fresh out of prison.
Oh,
men.
yeah. Okay, I was like, got it. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, so that's what I feel like they're showing his transition from, being a jail person, right? Or someone who didn't really care about whether he lived or died. Like he felt like I'm just a criminal. That's all I am. That's all I ever be. And I think that he's changed, right? And they show that transition that he's changing, and I like that.
And he's still on the journey. He's still on the journey.
Yes,
Like,
he's still on the journey. Yeah.
He earned the cowboy hat, but he couldn't keep the cow like on the rope, so he got pulled off. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
but every time he falls, he gets back up.
Yeah, and that's a life lesson, right?
Yeah,
Every time he's falling. Before he would just stay down because in his mind he's like, I'm not even a good person. I'm not worthy of anything, so I'll just be this criminal who lives in a trailer, right? And now he realized he is something. Like people believe in him now, right? So I like that whole transition.
Lloyd in particular. Lloyd believes
Yeah,
in
I
him.
like Lloyd a lot.
Lloyd's really close to him. Yeah.
He's like a dad. He's like a dad.
I mean, once he saw the brand, he definitely was like, "Hey, you're one of us." And he does kind of take Jimmy under his wing, and that becomes a thing. And but we still got to teach a man lessons, right? Like Jimmy does fuck up quite a bit. But they're like, "Hey, bro."
I was gonna say that's one thing I did not like about Rip from the first season was like, everything was like, "Damn it, Jimmy, just stay on the goddamn horse." Jimmy, what the fuck you're doing, Jimmy? I'm like, it's like, please stop saying his name like he's like a kid on punishment. Like, just let it's like, damn.
He is.
I mean,
he He said, "Go get that piece of shit and bring him here and turn him into a cowboy." And fucking Rip went over there, branded him in his fucking trailer park, and was like, "Come on!" And it was like, "All right, you start work Monday and get your shit."
Okay,
together.
I have a question. What is the branding about? I mean, because I understand the branding with the animals.
Yes.
And that's to let people know that that's my cattle.
It's like
why would you brand a person?
It's because it's to say that they belong, but not everybody gets it. Because like as you saw, the guy who got the train,
Fred wasn't.
He didn't have a brand.
Yeah.
So but I think Rip wasn't. I didn't think Rip thought that Fred was worthy of a brand.
Well,
that's why
it's not about being. It's not about you being worthy, because you never know if you are or aren't, because you have to earn it. So you.
But Jimmy didn't earn it. Jimmy didn't earn it. They did it immediately.
You have to accept it, and then you spend the rest of your life earning up to it.
I think, in the words of what David's probably going to say, just keep watching. You'll.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying this from the first season.
But to your point, but that's a good point. Kim brings up a good point. Jimmy really. The whole like when you look at the hit, like in future seasons, you understand the brand or whatever. Jimmy, I kind of didn't understand Jimmy's brand either. It was like he found him in the house and this meth house and whatnot, and Rip just gave him two options. Why wouldn't he just grab him and just like put him in? You know what I mean? It's not like he, this is what earned him the brand.
So it's what.
See what I'm saying?
Even in this season, so you can. John says John even reminded Rip, like I said, you have to live up to it. Not something you earn, like you just got it, right? So it's for, they established this season it's for criminals to say it's a sign of trust. He branded, and he said I did it myself. He branded Casey because Casey just disobeyed him too many times, and it's a sign that I can trust you from now on. But in exchange for that, you have a home. These other cowboys come and go, but you have a home in the Yellowstone forever. But you can't leave. You can't leave the Yellowstone. That's why he said, do it like my dad did it. Go to the prison, find a criminal, brand him, and now he's stuck here. So,
but not everyone got out of prison got the brand though. If you remember the other characters they introduced, they don't all get, just because that one guy comes out of jail, he doesn't get a brand. To be consistent, he should have got one to ensure that he's trustworthy. Yeah.
But he got one later on though. Remember they had the campfire?
Yeah, the campfire. So Walker gets it later, but because to show he can be trusted.
Wait, Walker. The reason why I didn't say his name is he in season 1?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I was being very careful.
He's the singing cowboy. He's the one that keeps singing.
Yeah.
Okay.
To your point, they pick him up at the prison that day. The branding comes later, but it does come. Like he's like, and it's a choice. If you want to stay here, you get this. When he gets it, he
say, "Oh, we can drop you off at the bus station," and I was like,
What does that mean?
I was like, does he understand what's going to happen? That's why he got it, or what?
No. There's two stations. There's a bus station and there's a train station.
I'm just saying.
No.
He might not have known exactly which is which, so he probably was like, "Okay, I'll just take it."
Well, so that's why he's stuck there. So when he goes to Rip and he says, I'm not about this crime life. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting up out of here. And Rip is like, "No, you're not. Like you got the brand. Like you're but staying here." And that's why he goes to Beth and it's like, "I'm stuck
Beth
here."
Was like,
"Yeah, you want to
you'll stay here while you're at it. Here's some drugs."
Just a little bit.
Beth saw him getting the brand,
huh?
Because Beth saw him getting the brand.
No, that was Monica. Monica saw him getting the brand.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
And then she was like, "Is this what you do?" And I'm like, anyway, to Chris's point, all this becomes more detailed as we go along. The brand becomes more and more of a thing. And what does it mean and that kind of thing. But it's supposed to be criminals in theory, and to say that you can be trusted. But if you want to stay.
Side note, the smell of somebody getting branded is like the worst shit ever.
Oh, have you smelled it? Have you been around?
From the frat,
frats and stuff. Yeah,
the Omegas get branded. Some Sigmas get branded too.
My brother too. Cause my brother's Alpha. I think he got.
Oh no, Alphas that are branded. But all the Qs get branded pretty much.
I was like, don't make no kind of damn sense. I think out of never mind. We can talk about that later. All right. Let's,
You about to say something bad?
I was about to say. Oh, wait a minute. I was like, never mind.
Oh, you about to get beat up by a bunch of friends. Yo, this man David about to have some people wearing all purple right outside his door. Like, what were you about? What were you about to say on YouTube, sir?
Nothing.
To say.
Anyway, Montana
All right, they gonna
Batman.
come after you too, Chris.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. Damn it.
See. So Montana Batman believes his colon cancer has come back. So he's prepping for his imminent demise.
Yeah, I hope he lives. I
hope he's gonna be all right. I hope he's gonna be all right.
I have a question. Remember when they showed his stitches?
Yes.
Like when he was he was by the water with his grandson, and it was the stitches. And okay, first though, stitches don't look like that in this day and age. That they were zigzag stitches around his. I was like, what the heck? You can't even really see stitches anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's for dramatic effect. So
it was black on his white skin. I was like, okay, it's like they wanted to put a flashlight on it. Like these are supposed to be stitches. Well, why is it zigzag then? Like
the surgery went awry. It was an earthquake during the surgery. He's like, oh shit. He's like, let me get this right. I'm sorry.
That was weird. I was like, and I do have to say, Danny, the young lady who Casey saved from the pedophiles. Yes. Danny, I have to say, I love his voice. I absolutely love
from Banshee.
The dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, his voice. I love his voice.
The one
he's got the best voice on the entire show.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. Just had to say that.
Go watch Banshee again.
Yeah. Did you watch Banshee, Kim?
Yeah. He was on there. Yeah.
He was unstoppable. Like that dude. He was hard. It would really in many and later on you kind of see this too. Like Casey could really have his own show. Like the wild shit he gets into that really has nothing to do with the Dutton Ranch. Like he really could have his own show. And he could have been the sheriff. Like he says, I only have 2 skills and only one of them pays. You don't have to join the Navy SEALs. You could be the sheriff of fucking Bozeman. I'm pretty sure your dad can get you a job. Like you don't have to be fucking training horses and living off your wife. Like and then him and Rip fighting. That also becomes a thing. But like Rip is like, I'm trying to protect his family, and you are a liability. And he is a liability.
Rip whipped his ass, and then he was like,
damn. I mean, Rip whoops everybody's ass. I mean, like that's his consistent.
He said, "You want to fight somebody? You fight me.
I'll fight you all day." Like that's
fight you all day.
That's his shit.
That was some Captain America shit. Like I ain't going.
That's a good point. Yeah. I wish we had the graphic. Next week is going to be Rip next to Captain America. That would be the thumbnail.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I feel, you know what? No joke. Okay. I mean, I feel like Jamie could even have his own little spinoff. This is what Tate should have been.
Jamie's boring.
This is what Tate should. I feel like this is what Tate should have been, in my opinion. Tate should have been this guy here.
Tate should have been Jamie.
Tate. But can we talk about
Tate? I don't mean Tate from this show. I'm talking about Tate from Power Tate.
That's what I'm
talking
about. Okay.
Ghost yeah.
Councilman Tate should have been Jamie.
Yes, this is the type of like the version that we should have gotten. You know what I mean? The whole like using somewhat of corruption, government corruption, and shit like that, and using it to bend your own will. It's more believable with Jamie, especially that little look. This actor, he's really good at what he does. Like. And this is the reason why he always plays like these characters who's like sometimes like villainous or whatnot. He has that look like he just like stares into the darkness. I'm like, oh shit, he's like looking at evil right now. Like I can see it in his eyes. So, like he's up to something.
He's always up to something.
Like, but he's up to something.
He's trying. He just feels kicked around. I do agree. That John treats him like shit. Like I mean, and as much as he fights for the family.
Everybody do.
Yeah. And also,
man, like he keeps on around like some adopted kid or something. I'm like, come on, man, just be cool. You know what I mean? Man. So,
and then, did everybody agree with the fact that Jamie punched his dad? Was that
Jamie,
cool?
What?
Jamie fought his father, and he punched his father.
I'm trying to remember that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
but John still beat him up.
Yeah, his dad whipped his ass pretty good. I'm saying he was frustrated. I mean, Jamie don't know who he is without his dad. I mean, he was I mean, this fight should have happened when he was a teenager, now as a grown man. I'm just saying, like, but that was kind of like I'm standing up to my dad, I'm gonna be my own man. But then daddy's like, I'm still daddy, so I don't know how far you think this is gonna go.
Right.
But
right.
as
I just thought that's my ex-husband would have shot both my kids. They would have even done that. I'm serious. He does not play. Don't. If I hit you, I hit you. Do not hit me back. I am your dad. Period. So I was like, oh my God, you was swing. And Rip tried to tell Jamie, stop.
Yeah.
Like, don't hit your dad anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you may not live. Don't do this.
Because he says, hey, Jamie has to go to the train station. No problem, sir.
Yeah.
like Rip don't play around. Like I say, except for Beth. I think Beth is the only one that Rip would be like, I'm not doing that. But
he loves Beth, so he's not gonna want to kill her.
He does. I mean, to his faults. I mean, he's like, you know what, whatever it is, you know, he's always there for her. And I think that's really sweet. But again, I just think as John being as old as he is, it just looks like he's beating up an old man. But if this was 1997, John, and he was fighting, it's like, you know, like
I'm about to say this bodyguard. Is this Kevin Costner when he was defending when he was like securing Whitney Houston? Oh, he been in trouble.
Yeah, that would have been a different fight. That would have been two men fighting it out.
But then Jamie would have been like a younger kid. But
well, that's what I'm saying. If he was teenage,
he wouldn't have hit his dad back.
If he was like, again, teenage, about to go to the military, whatever, about to go to college or whatever, like, and he fought his dad for independence, I think it'd be more socially acceptable. I mean, as opposed to old man John, to me. I mean, because you're gonna have that issue. Dad's gonna have the issue with the son at some point. You know, I mean, it is how far it goes. I mean, I think. But they got to be like, I'm our own person. Beth is doing her own shit. So like that was really, like I said, that was between her and her mom, and then the mom died. So you know, that kind of took care of that. But yeah, I don't know. Again, we don't know. We don't know Casey and Lee and how they dealt with John like growing up and that kind of stuff. I mean, one of them got branded, so you know that didn't work out well for him. When it comes to that,
you know, it's so funny. It could have been a possibility that Lee might have been branded too, but we would never know because they didn't focus shit on him. All right, there was like nothing on him at all.
At least he had a name.
He could have been branded. You don't know that.
At least he had a name and flashbacks. Because he was lightly mentioned in flashbacks of Christmas. Like he was like, "Hey Lee, you want a gift?" I was like, "Oh look, Lee's there."
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, they show up like, "Who's the other kid?" I'm like, "I don't neighborhood kid." And I'm like, "Oh, that's Lee.
That's Lee."
That's
all right. Come on. We gotta get to From.
Wait, I got a couple questions. What is BLM? Because I know it's not Black Lives Matter.
No, that's a land management. It's real land management.
It is. They said
it's not what you think.
Bozeman land management, something like that. To Chris's point.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's Bozeman land management.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, because I'm like,
Jomani had so many follow-up questions. Like shit.
But there was a building. Wasn't there a building that said what it was? It was a building in yellow letters.
It could be Jamie said it on the phone when he was talking to somebody, because he was like, this was clear through like Bozeman land management. They were trying to accuse him of messing up the investigation for the cattle. That's what it was. When your dad went to go get the cattle, wasn't this a violation or whatever? And he was like, well, Bozeman land management was knew about it, and some other people that kind of stuff. But that's how I knew it. Something to that effect. From that effect.
Oh.
Definitely land management. I'm just assuming the B is Bozeman. Anything else?
As far as Walker,
yes,
right?
Yes.
I'm like, is he like this whole musician thing or whatever, right? Because I'm like, he's supposed to be like this, I don't know, like sad convict or something. They're like, do you want sad or happy? And they're like, all right, I'll do they say happy, and he's like, if that's happy, then don't ever play me sad. So I'm like, I'm wondering, is that going to have any sort of like him being a musician have any sort of effect on the future or something, like in future seasons or anything like that? And this show just really seems like Walker Texas Ranger, but yeah, we've already
that's coming. I hear you, and that's coming. That I will say to that. I'll say that. Keep watching. Keep watching.
Like, are we like the real estate guy, Dean, was the the guy who
Dan.
gets
Dan.
huh? Dan.
Dan.
Yeah. I'm like him going to bars, getting in bar fights, and like that's classic Texas Ranger, the whole bar fights and everybody's wanting to pick up Beth, and him just not being a fish out of water and him getting beat up and everything like that. It just seems like the first 5 minutes of a Walker Texas Ranger, and then somebody gets killed at the bar and nobody knows who did it, and then Walker kicks ass to find out who did it, and
these are options, and again, we just gotta keep watching. Characters develop and storylines develop. But I agree with you. Walker Texas Ranger could be a title of a spinoff for some of these characters. I agree.
So they do the sixes.
And Walker, he's actually a real life. He's a country singer.
So Walker, he is.
Yeah, his real name is Ryan Bingham.
And
he's a country singer. Yeah.
He's good. And the singing continues. That's I definitely say music. Music is definitely part of the show, and he is a part of that. Part of the soundtrack of the series. I would say.
Speaking of spinoffs, so like in Stacey's background, I know that they did say they were doing a spinoff that was going to star Matthew McConaughey. Like which one is that? Are they doing? Like, do we know?
That's the sequel. That's the sequel. That's the sequel to Yellowstone. The sequel, not the prequel. There's two prequels right now. There's a sequel when they go down.
So sequel as in like six is a sequel or okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no more prequels.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I understand it, yeah. It would be the future. It was supposed to be somehow in December already. I'm like, and I don't know how that writer's strike is going.
That writer's strike, I was about to say that writer's strike about to mess up everything, man.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Kevin Costner was like, "Hey, look, I can only film like for 7 days for season." And I'm like, "What?" Yeah. Well, he does have a movie coming up. I think that's why they said that's why he's.
But he's also fighting with Taylor, so that's another thing. So it's a combination.
Yeah.
So
I
hate that.
I feel like he felt like he's the age that he is. He said, "I wanted always to play cowboys and Indians or have a movie or a TV show like that." And he's like, how can I do this in woke culture and in this generation? And that's what this show became. Like it's more or less, it's less of Succession and more or less Kevin Costner saying, how can I, as an adult in this world and culture right now, play cowboys and Indians?
Yeah, I mean it's a modern version. I mean, I don't know about that, but Taylor wrote this whole thing. This is really Taylor Sheridan's like brainchild.
I love all his work. Sicario of the Sicario sequel. To your point, another strong female character in that one. So yeah, he's a great actor and writer. So I'm not surprised that this show is doing this great. And from everything I heard, I haven't watched 1883, but I heard some people say it was even better than this regular Yellowstone. I heard a couple people say that, and I'm like,
it's good. I mean, I started watching the first season. It's good, and the first
season of what?
1883.
1883, the prequel.
Oh yeah,
one of the prequels.
I'm gonna start watching it.
Yeah,
and I'm watching 1923, and that one's good too. And I know they're doing another season of 1923. So we got a bunch of Yellowstone stories out here, so that's cool.
So that's the goal is to go through this season at least 1883, because I haven't watched the 1923 one, but 1883 is good. So I do want to do that as we move forward. But anyway, we gotta get to from Stacey. Anything else?
Yeah, I know, right? I want to laugh too, Stacey.
Stop laughing.
He said we got to go to From. We got to go. I got to move on to this spectacular show called From.
That is for forget you, Stacey. So I guess no. I guess you got nothing else for Yellowstone. Forget you, Kim. Anything else for Yellowstone? Why they snicker?
No, I just want to keep watching and see the story unfold because I'm enjoying every moment of it.
All right, and I do too. So everyone, if you're still watching, Vaughn, Joiner, thank you for with the fires. Anybody else who's watching still, thank you. We went a lot of different directions as we do around here. But anyway, we will see you next week for season 2, which
you said Tom Joyner?
Vaughn, Von.
Oh, I think you said Tom Joyner. Like Tom Joyner's here. Oh,
No,
like,
but-
he's
And if you guys are gonna keep laughing or whatever, remember there's a writer strike. They could just say, wrap this whole thing up with Harold Perrineau doing a caramel at the end of the final
Caramel?
episode, and it being, an episode at a time
What you mean
from to
caramel?
this, huh?
a
A
cameo.
cameo.
Yeah, cameo.
Oh.
All right. I was like, what
Cameo,
the fuck
and it can all be tied in.
I was like, who's eating caramel?
all even tied into what? All the tied into what? Sorry?
It could all be tied into fun. It could.
Oh,
The
okay.
writing strike.
Tied
The
all
writing
together.
strike. They could just chalk it up to, John,
all-
and just yonder down the road, and there was a tree branch.
Okay.
I don't know about that
Okay.
one, man.
They're all
But,
dead.
huh?
They're all dead.
That would be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what they do with John now that Kevin's not coming back with the last five. So I will be interested to see how they write him off.
Well, they said he's in the first. He's supposed to be in the first 3 episodes of the 5th season, and then that's it. That's what I heard.
It's more than that. They did like 7 or 8 episodes. So season 5 is
Okay.
pretty long, but like the last 4 or 5 episodes, he's not in. So like when
Okay, that's what they said. When
Because they split into 2 parts. It's part
So
one.
he didn't come back for the second half.
yeah, he's not coming
basically,
back for the second half. So
Well, no, he is, but just for 7 days. I mean, for a 7-day filming.
Oh, is he?
I just read that was from last month. They confirmed that. So
Oh, okay.
he's going to be in for 7 days. But remember how the way they ended part 1, I was like, oh, that's how they're going to try to do it.
all right, I got you. All right.
And
I
you
was
know
gonna
he's
say, they
going
try
through
to
a
throw a little
divorce,
stuff
so
in.
he's got to concentrate on that shit.
He's got what?
He's got a divorce.
Going through a divorce.
Yeah.
Man, they don't be stopping no actors. Okay.
No, but
all
his
right.
wife, he doesn't even know why. He said he doesn't know why he's getting a divorce.
Oh, he
His wife-
knows.
They know why.
Yeah, he does, Kim. That's some bullshit.
He
No,
should just
no, but
say why. Just say it.
No, that's a
You don't
John
want to
Dutton
say it,
magic.
apparently.
That's a John Dutton political magic trick. I'm not gonna say. I don't know
Is
why.
it Beth? Is it
Oh.
Beth? Because Beth
No, I
was
don't think
running
it's
around
Beth. I don't think
naked.
that
no.
that'd be wild.
Or maybe the environment. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, she was running around a lot of times on set naked. I mean,
No. He also got another film coming out too, and I heard that was the first contentions between him and Taylor was that he told him, "It's like, look, I got a film that he actually he directed, right? Either he wrote or directed himself, and he's trying to focus on that. So he told him, like, I can only film for 7 days, and then that's what started this whole like thing or whatnot. And then,
okay.
yeah. So I mean, the divorce is probably might add to that as well, but apparently it has to do with his scheduling conflicts and because he got his other projects that he's doing. But Dave, you keep saying like after his character is off, like what are they going to do? No, here's the deal. Like you're forgetting. No, this show is ending, which means most of the characters might just not cease to exist after this, except for like maybe some of the side characters.
They said that the characters the spinoff with Matthew McConaughey is going to have several of the people that were in Yellowstone
to do appearances
They're
probably,
the
but they're not
spinoff.
going to be in it. Like I'll be shocked if like for
That's
example,
what it said.
Casey
I
was
just
like,
read it. I just read it just now.
no, I'm not saying that they're not in it, but I guess my point is,
Like, in it,
sure,
in it.
Casey might be doing do a cameo here and there. What I'm saying is, I don't think it's going to be more than that. It's my point. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Yeah, because it'll be like it's
And
like
hell, and if that's the case, Kevin Costner could even do that himself as well.
no,
you know what I mean?
It's like Power Book. It's like I hate to say this. It's like Power Book 2. You can't have ghosts in it, or it's just power. Like at the minimum, main character got to go. Like John cannot be in the spinoff. Like Franklin cannot be in the spinoff.
Yeah, because
No,
it
it's
works
not. Well,
so
Kevin
well
Costner
with
not
House
gonna
of
be on.
Cards.
House of Cards cannot, and he was gone. That's what I'm saying. To be abruptly, how do the writers do it so it makes sense, and then they kind of bring it. I'm saying the remaining of this series, how do they carry on without him? I'd be interested to see. Spinoff, he's definitely not going to be in. I mean, either way, I'm saying I agree with that. As they move south, you know, what I'm saying. As they
But
move
I think he's just going to die. That's what
I mean,
I'm
so-
hoping they do.
I
that
mean,
he just dies.
He could go to Mexico and write a book. I mean, you don't. I mean, you don't know. I mean, he could be
That's
like,
too
hey, I
easy.
thought about it. I'm gonna write my memoirs.
Maybe he just retires.
Yellowstone.
Maybe why everybody keeps saying that somebody got die? How about he just retire?
he can
Batman
walk the-
retired at the
he
end
can-
of
he can walk- he can
Batman.
walk the
Batman.
streets. He could walk the
Huh?
streets of Montana.
I mean, okay, Chris, you compared this to Succession, right? The dad died.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So
Not everybody's seen it. Nobody's
My bad.
Spoiled the whole series.
Listen,
bad.
all right, guys, get to
Tamani's mad now.
So next week we got Yellowstone season 2. We got we got Ruthless. And this week, today we got a couple more videos. So Kim, Stacey, and I will be back.
We probably do Cocaine Bear.
We're not doing Cocaine Bear.
That movie, yo, I'm with Jamani. That movie was shocking.
I'm not watching Cocaine Bear. So
okay.
No.
You know what, Jamani? I remember we had the same thing about Yellowstone. He was like, "Yeah, I ain't doing this. I ain't doing no Yellowstone.
I'm not doing.
And Better Call Saul. Okay.
I watched that and I still said no. I was like,
oh, you just seen Cocaine Bear?
No, I saw Better Call Saul and I said no. This ain't reviewable. But anyway, I will Stacey. We will see you later, Kim, and yeah, we still got to do the interview with that lady, Jackson's wife. I want to do that one.
Wait, what?
It's gonna be hilarious.
An interview.
Yeah. There's an interview about Kevin. Yeah, Kevin.
Not Kevin Samuels. Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson. There you go.
Wait, when are y'all doing that? Oh, y'all doing that today? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it's a.
You didn't let me know.
Danae Jackson is her interview.
It's hilarious. I was like, I said that shit was hilarious, man.
Damn. Shit, I wish I would have known. Okay.
I don't know if it was hilarious. I think it was a lot of hurt going on in that interview, but okay. But they kept making it a joke.
So. They kept laughing the entire interview.
Yeah, which was crazy. And I was like, why is this nervous energy? Like the stuff they were talking about, I don't think it was funny, but okay. Like,
she said.
What time is that? What time are y'all reviewing that?
Like later on, like probably at the evening. One, we gotta get through from, and then I gotta eat. So then we gotta see like how all that goes. I mean, we may end up doing it next week just because of time. As time goes on. I don't know.
Derek Jackson. I've been warning y'all for years. So now,
warning. Nobody listens to Derek. They just watch him in his muscles.
What I'm shocked about is that they're still married. I was like, why?
Exactly. But again,
wait, what?
The courts are backed up, I guess. I don't know.
That's just nuts. I'm like,
what do you mean they're married?
They're still married.
Still married. I don't know if they live in the same house still, but
is it because I guess religion? I guess no. Is it because of the religion?
No.
What
No.
what?
She anyway. We will. I'll show
you. Filed, but it just hasn't been processed.
They haven't processed yet.
This has been like 2 years.
It's probably like that year. You got to wait a year thing.
This is 2 years now. We're at now, right?
I think they recently just filed.
It's filed last year, I think.
Yeah, because the interview said she just filed. Like this is recent, like as when the interview got posted. Anyway, so like she said she's still married. She counterfiled. I've seen the interviews. If you want to watch the interviews. And we
send me that.
It was posted 11 days ago. So
they're still married. Like as of recently. Yes. But I seen the interviews.